Alrighty, welcome everybody. It is Tuesday evening and we are ready to do some card making. For those of you that are new to my channel, my name is Julie Brown. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and welcome. So I am going to go through some, oh my gosh, I still haven't updated the hostess code. I am such a goober. Anyway, I'm going to go through some housekeeping real quick here, but this is wrong, so just ignore it. So ignore the June hostess code. If you guys are planning on placing an order that's under 150, just reach out to me at juliescreativestamping@gmail.com and I will get you the correct hostess code. You can order through me at juliebrown.stampinup.net, and then I have a Pinterest, Facebook, and Instagram page that is Julie's Creative Stamping. And then you always want to check out my YouTube channel because it is juliebrown.juliescreativestamping, and I am going to start uploading videos to that I don't necessarily do here on Facebook. So make sure that you go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, so that you know when I do put videos up that you will get notified. And if you're watching this on YouTube, yay, I'm excited. Thank you for supporting me. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure that you do subscribe. Also, make sure you check out my blog at stampinjuliebrown.blogspot.com. Again, there's cards that I show you tonight that I don't do videos on, I usually will put the step-by-step instructions there. So anyway, so I don't know. I guess I just can't get out of June for some reason. So anyway, we are going to be working with a really huge suite tonight. It is that's the wrong one, sorry. It is the Sweetest Christmas Suite, and it has 2 bundles. It has specialty paper, designer series paper, ribbon, and embellishment. This is a huge suite. Again, and so we're going to get into that, but real quick, if you're new to my channel, make sure you let me know you're here by typing it in the comments. And also, if you have any questions, make sure that you type those in as well. So that's the suite, and let me just go over. In the suite, you'll be seeing the Sweet Candy Canes bundle and the Christmas Banners bundle. And then there'll be designer series paper. So let's go ahead and get this switched over and let's look at everything that is in this suite. It is absolutely huge. This is the specialty paper. It is glitter paper and you get both red and white. Obviously you get more pieces than this. I just pulled this out so that you guys could see it. These are the embellishments. They're sequins and they're in all these different colors. Again, really fun. And then we have the red ribbon and that's real red and garden green ribbon. Again, part of the same suite. I'm telling you guys, this suite is huge. And then this is one of the bundles. It's the Christmas banner bundles, and it has all of these dies with it. Just this alone is a huge set. And then the next one is the Sweet Candy Canes, and this one has all of these dies. And we're going to be working with a lot of these tonight. And then let's look at the paper really quick, just so that we can kind of get that. As you know, it's all double-sided, so I'm going to kind of bring it in and just show you each side. So we've got this fun candy stripe, and then this is the other side to that one. And then we have this one, which is another stripe, and I don't know if you guys can see, but it's got like lighter, so it's got like the real red and then almost like a blushing bride in there. And then that's the other side. So this one has a bunch of baby candy canes. Yay! And then we have this one here, again, striped paper. The other side of that one is this one here. Whoopsie. And then we have this one here. Again, more candy striping. And I always love, we used to call this kind of like a dotted Swiss. I don't know how many of you have been around long enough. That's what they used to call this paper, but I really love the paper that has little dots on it. And then we have this one, which is the opposite of these candy canes. And then we have more stripes. And then the opposite of this one is these candy canes. Now the cool thing about these candy canes is the dies actually cut these candy canes out. So let me bring in those dies and just kind of show you. So the candy canes go 2 different ways. And so this die cuts the ones that are facing that way. And let's see. And this one cuts the ones that are facing that way. So it does fit the paper, and they do cut these out. Now I spent some time and I cut a bunch of I actually cut a whole sheet of these out. And I do that a lot because, you know, and I'm going to advise you guys to do that. Anytime that we have designer series paper that we have dies that match it, it's really good to go ahead and just take one of the sheets and go ahead and cut out as many as you can. And let me show you, I think I've got them sitting here. Of course, I've used some of them on cards, but guys, look how many candy canes I ended up with doing that. There is like a ton of candy canes, right? Look at that. Tons that are now ready to just pop on cards. So really fun idea with I love that Stampin' Up! Does that. All right, so let's get this paper out of the way and we can start making our first card. I do have my fly swatter handy, so if you hear a swat, it's because I've been chasing this fly all night long. Okay, so for our first card, I did some of the stamping ahead of time just to save time. And we were going to have a piece of real red, but I'm also going to bring in, even though this suite has a ton of stuff, I just got this embossing folder, and it is the Cascading Ruffles embossing folder. And so I really wanted to use it, so I did throw it in tonight with the card that we're making. So I'm going to just bring my Stampin' Cut emboss, and it does have to be the big one because these big 3D embossing folders do not fit in the smaller ones. So hold on, guys. I'm just trying to make sure that this is actually running the feed on my... Okay, good. It is running. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Sometimes I think I'm live and something happens and it doesn't go live. Alrighty, so I am just going to take my white piece, and you always want to make sure that where it folds, this crease is the edge that goes in first. And because it's a 3D embossing folder, all I need is the base, which is the number 1, then the paper and the embossing folder, and this gray or number 4 piece. And so we're going to run this through. And I'm going to try to get this close to you guys so you can see what this looks like. Sometimes I know it's really hard to see on camera like how cool this stuff looks. But again, I really wanted to play with this one. So we will see. All right, so let me see. I got to get the right side. Okay. So do you see that? Isn't that pretty? Hey, Mel. So that is that Cascading Ruffles die, and I think it's cool. But it's not part of this suite that I'm using tonight. It's not part of the Sweetest Christmas Suite, but like I said, I just got it in, and so I wanted to play with it, so it's part of what we're doing tonight. All right, so we're going to take this, whoopsie, and we are going to just add this to the card front. A lot of times when I'm working with embossing folders, I do use liquid glue. Just so, because when it's embossed, it has these hills and valleys, and I always want to make sure that I get a good hold. I didn't do that just now, but I do that a lot. People ask me all the time, like when I use liquid glue compared to when I use... I still call this kind of like it's the tape runner, but this is the Stampin' Seal Plus. So they're always asking me, you know, how I do that. Okay, so like I just told you, I cut out a bunch of this was the designer series paper, and I cut these out of the designer series paper. So I'm just going to pick one of these out of here for this card. And then I have a lot of parts and pieces that I cut out ahead of time. So, and I did also bring in that distressed gold paper that's in the annual catalog, and we're going to be using that with this card too. So let me just grab all of my pieces and parts. So this one I will be cutting out with dies, but I stamped these, and I stamped the inside ahead of time, and I'll explain why I did that in just a second. All right, so let me just pull all the pieces that I need. So again, that was with that gold distress paper, and then this is with the glimmer paper that is part of this suite. So let me just get all my pieces out. It's taking me longer to get the pieces out than it would have probably to cut them. How does that happen sometimes? Oh, I'm missing one. What am I missing? There it is. Okay, and then I'm gonna need a bunch of these. Okay, so I just kind of want to show you the dies that I use. So the dies actually came from the Christmas banners. And so for this one, I used these detailed dies. So I used this one and this one. And then this die right here is what cuts out all the little balls or berries, I guess these are. And that's what cuts those out. So I just wanted to give you an idea of what I used for that. Okay, so we're going to kind of start building this on the card front. And you guys know that when I'm building, I don't always like glue everything down all the way. And that's going to be the case with this as well. So I'm just going to take one of my glimmer red ones here and stick it right there. And then I'm going to take another one and we're going to stick it right in the opposite corner at the bottom. So I'm actually just going to be kind of mirroring what I'm doing here. If I can talk right. All right, and then I'm going to come in. I need to bring in my take a pick tool. I want to make sure that, because with these detailed dies, sometimes you don't realize it hasn't cut out all the little pieces. And this time I'm going to bring in some glue dots. Hopefully I have some sitting here because I had a class this last weekend and I put my glue dots on the table for my class. So I'm just going to kind of stick this on top of that stem right there. And then I'm going to come in with this one and I'm going to put it quite a bit lower on that red one right there. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other end. Stick this one on there. So I hope you're doing well, Mel. It looks like it's just you and me tonight. Okay, so then I'm going to come in and again I'm going to use a mini glue dot. And I'm going to kind of stick this over here. And stick this so that it doesn't really touch. I mean, it's kind of close to that, but it doesn't really touch it. And then again, remember I said I'm mirroring. So if I'm going to do it here, I'm going to do it on this side down here. And again, I did cut these pieces out ahead of time, just so that I could show you more cards tonight with this little suite. All right, and then I'm just going to do the same thing with I'm just going to our mini glue dots actually fit this perfectly, these little dots. I guess they're called berries. And then I'm just going to take the berries and I'm just going to stick them right on these branches. So I'm just going to be picking these up and I just kind of start on one edge and lay them down and then use my take your pick tool. I always say take a pick, but it's take your pick. You know, it is what it is, right? All right, so we're getting this one. Boy, that glue dot was not wanting to come off. Isn't that cute though with the little, so you can cut out the little limb, and then it's got all the little berries to go on the end. So, and I was just feeling really glimmery tonight, so I actually used a lot of the glimmer paper in the cards that I did tonight, which actually is not like me. I don't always use a lot of glimmery. I like it all, but it's just not my style all the time. All right, so then I'm going to do the same down here. I've got to pull a couple more of those dots out of my little pre-done stuff over here. There we go. And then we're going to get those put down here. Believe it or not, this card is going to go together pretty quick. I think this is probably the part that takes the longest, is just putting these little dots, or I keep calling them dots, berries. It's because I'm having a hard time with this Christmas in July. I'm one of those people that likes to wait until, a little closer to the holidays. But I was having so much fun with all of these. Well, it was the gnomes. The gnomes got me started, right? I couldn't be patient, and I couldn't sit and wait. So if you guys missed my video from last week, I did do the gnomes. So if you're kind of wanting to see how, something made with the gnomes, check out my video from last week. Oh, and I'm out of glue dots. Oh, oops, that's not glue dots. I'm going to have to open a new box, and it's not going to have my little tie thing around it. You guys have probably seen my string around this, and the reason that I put that string around it is because it just makes it easier to control how much of this unrolls. Because you can be doing this. Oh my gosh, I keep setting that down and it's moving my limb. But as you go with this, you can just get like a ton of the paper, and when you have that string on there, it helps you to know that you can go ahead and tear it off, and so you end up not having this big old stream of string. Okay, so there's that so far. So now I'm going to come in, and I am going to just adhere this glimmer paper to that gold distress paper. This gold distress paper is a specialty paper that is in the annual catalog. Because as lovely as these suites are, and really this suite, you would not have to bring in anything else. You could make a ton of cards with just the products that are in this. But I like to show you guys how you can mix and match your annual catalog stuff with these suites. So we're just going to come in, and we're going to put 5 dimensionals. And then this is going to go on the front. So I want you guys to stick with me to the end, because I'm going to show you a really fun card that I designed with not using any of the colors that they basically suggest for this. I kind of did I don't even know how, anyway, you'll see it if you stick with me to the end. All right, so there's that. Then I'm going to come in with this, and again, this was cut out from that designer series paper using the die. And I'm just going to use some liquid glue here. And again, you guys see I don't use like a ton of glue, because this stuff really does, once it sets really good. So that's going to sit like that. And then before I put this in, I am going to come in with some Wink of Stella, because I have so much glimmer here. And let me see if I can get you closer so you'll be able to see what I'm doing. Oh, the other way. I'm just going to take my Wink of Stella, and I'm just going to color in these large stripes on this candy cane. And like I said, this is not something that you would have to do, but I'm doing it with this because I have so much glimmer on here already, and I just kind of felt like these candy canes needed some glimmer. Alrighty, so I'm going to kind of set that to the side. Then we're going to bring this in. Now, one of the things that I have learned over the years is the best color. So because I use that distressed gold, I don't have gold, a gold ink pad. Sorry, I'm trying to get it to go back out. What is going on? Whoop, wrong way. You guys are getting to see a close-up of that. Okay, come on. You can do it. Oh my goodness, it's stuck. There we go. There we go. I don't have gold ink, and so the best ink that I have found that matches the gold the best is our crumb cake ink. And so I'm just going to ink this up, and it's this is from the Christmas banners set. And I'm just going to try to line this up so it's straight, and excuse my head if I get my head in there. And then we're just going to stamp that. But see how it kind of, it looks gold, right? So that's what I love about crumb cake, is that it actually, when you're working with like gold paper, or you're putting gold embellishments, kind of like I've added a lot of gold to this card, the crumb cake matches it up really, really well. Okay, so then I'm going to bring in this die cut from that banners one. And I'm just going to tape that down, bring in that die cut machine, and we're going to cut this. Of course, this time I have to have all my plates back on it. You guys can see, I don't know if you guys can see all my, I've got little pieces of Post-it note all over my, and washi tape, all over my little Stampin' Cut emboss machine, because I tape everything down, just to make sure it doesn't move. All right, so let me just get this out of the way. I want to make sure I put my die back on my magnetic. I have a little, I make little magnetic folders, or I add magnets to where I keep my dies so that I don't lose them. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I am going to just take some glue, and I'm just going to go in this center section, and we're going to bring this back in, and we're going to just mount this like so. And I'm trying to get my two edges to, and excuse me if I'm kind of, because I'm trying to make sure I get it straight. And then the reason I stamp this ahead of time is because when you use Wink of Stella on ink, it will sometimes run. And so I wanted to give this time to dry, but I wanted to come in and just kind of go over these little like stitches there, and then on this side as well, so that I had some shimmer. But again, because this Wink of Stella, you know, it is kind of wet when you're putting it on there, so it will make it run. Hey, Susie. All right, so let me see if you can see that where the Wink of Stella is. See it on the, there you can see it. So I put it on the candy cane and on that 'Tis the Season. All right, so for the inside of this card, again, I'm going to use crumb cake for my little stem that's going to go down here, because crumb cake is the best color that matches gold. And we are going to just stick that right there. And then what's kind of cool about this stamp set is, instead of me having to try to stamp every single little berry on there, this has, hold on one second. I forgot to turn my air on, and I am dying right now. I may have to run over there and flip it on real quick. Oh, there's that fly. If you see the fly, so anyway, it's got this stamp set that's got all the berries. and it's lined up perfectly to fit right onto your stem. Ta-da! Isn't that cute? I love it. I love it anytime that it makes it easy for me. All right, and so for the inside, I want to use the Merry Christmas. And I know I had them both out here. Again, I'm going to be bringing in that crumb cake because that's what matches the gold color the best. Let me see if I can keep this straight so I get this where I want it here. All right, so I'm going to stamp that like so. And then I'm going to come in with the Christmas. And then stamp that like so. Look at that! How cute is that? I know, will you swat it for me, Mel? Seriously, this fly is going to make me insane. It's like, there's just that, you know, there's always that one fly that just won't leave things alone. And here in Farmington, we have really just had a fly issue. So again, I'm going to come in with Wink of Stella, like I did, and I'm just going to like barely tip these little berries down here. But again, because I just stamped this, I've got to be really careful to stay inside that area or it will definitely come out. And then I'm just going to, and I'm actually going to color quite a bit of this one because I want this to be shiny like the front. I don't know. Can you guys hear the fly? It literally just landed on my nose, people. Oh my goodness. It's going to make me crazy. So if you see my hand start going all of a sudden, you know what I'm chasing, right? It is the forever pest of a fly. But again, that's why I stamped this ahead of time because I didn't want that to run. And so I'm going to just kind of draw and get some Wink of Stella on all of this. And I'll try to bring it closer once I get it all done so that you can kind of see what Wink of Stella does. So you're regretting not buying this one, huh? So can you guys see? I don't know if you guys can see you can kind of see the shimmer. There you go. So yeah, these two sets go together famously. I mean, I love them. So I am going to kind of like, I'll do this not in the camera just in case that messes up the camera. And so are you guys seeing, I just kind of glanced over at my computer and it's putting up the words as I talk. Is that happening to you guys as well? Are you seeing that? Spray some Terra Shield. I don't have any Terra Shield right next to me, but I do have Citronella that, believe it or not, Susie, I have had in my diffuser all day. But this fly is pretty dang persistent. All right, guys, there's our first card. What do you think? Yay! Okay, so you guys aren't seeing, so for maybe it's just my computer. So yeah, my computer is like putting across the front of it like everything that I'm saying. Okay, good. I'm glad you guys aren't getting that. Oh, so that's card one. So give me 1 second while I turn my fan on. And then I'm going to give a little plug for, so look, see Susie? So I'm going to try to put this like maybe on my hands a little bit and maybe rub it and see if this fly will leave me alone. So we'll see if that works. I even just put some in my hair. How crazy is that? But this fly is driving me crazy. Ah, I hate flies. Okay. So for the next one that we're going to do is we're going to bring in one of my little friends. And this one is kind of a, and then, so I'm going to do one that's kind of a more simple card, and then I'm going to go back and we're going to bring in some sparkle. And then I'm going to show you one where I went off of the colors that are in this suite. So stick with me. And then I did bring in another die set for this as well. Okay. So for this one, what I did was I cut a piece of the Designer Series paper, and we're just going to stick that at the top like so. And I think we'll just use Stampin' Seal Plus for this. I think that will hold it good enough. And you can see that I cut it at an angle, and you guys will have to check out my blog for all of the cutting directions for this one. Well, I did the citronella, Susie, so I'm desperate. Susie said she wouldn't mind TerraShield in her hair, but she doesn't know about citronella. Well, I'm telling you, when you've been battling the same fly for 5 hours, it's amazing what you will do, right? Okay, so this little scalloped edge actually comes from the pinned flower dies, which is in the annual catalog, but you guys can use any kind of scalloped edge that you happen to have. And so what I'm going to do is I am just going to kind of work on one side and then work on the other, and I'm just going to bring in my liquid glue. Did not mean to do that. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is what happens when I don't put my silicone mat down. I end up getting glue everywhere. See, that'll teach me, huh? Not to bring in my silicone mat. All right. So I am just going to line this up like so and just lay that across there. And then we're just going to turn it over and snip that edge. Now, the only thing I didn't like about this particular one is I really couldn't get it to line up kind of perfectly how I wanted it to, but I am going to try to kind of make more of a circle. The first time I didn't make a circle with that one, but I think this one might work better because I kind of turned that more into a circle. I did not do that the first when I made my original card. All right, so we're just going to go out with that liquid glue, and we are going to bring that in and out to that other edge. Yeah, that actually looks a lot better by me making that more of a, I cut it more as a straight edge on the first card, my practice card that I was trying to see if I liked it. And I kind of didn't, but now I do because I made that little circle. So see, you learn things as you go. Okay, so then we're going to take this and we are going to put this on our card front, and I used Garden Green. So these first few cards I am using the colors that go with the set. Okay, I can really smell the citronella now, but the fly is not coming around as much, so it did its job. I will probably have to go take a shower, but hey, it is what it is. All right. So this is just going to lay like so onto this card front. And then remember I told you I was bringing in one of my little friends, but before I do that, we are going to stamp, and I'm going to show you a really fun technique. And I think I need the other stamp. So in this stamp set, you get 2 of these candy canes. And so if you want it to be a certain direction, then you have to make sure you're using the one that's the right direction, because they are opposite directions. All right. So I'm going to show you this little trick. So I wanted to have a candy cane that's 2 different colors. So we are bringing in markers and we are going to color right onto this stamp set. And I'm just going to do every other one in the real red. And you really don't have to worry about going super fast because we call it huffing, which I know sounds bad, but what you do after you color in your stamp is you breathe on it, kind of like, you know, kind of like when you're in the winter time when you're trying to make your breath appear. It's that same type of breath that you do. And you just kind of breathe on it, and what that does is it re-moistens the ink. So you don't have to go like super fast and worry about, you know, oh my gosh, because you can already see, I don't know if you guys can see, but that first little bit of ink that I did is already dried or drying. And so I know a lot of people try to go really fast and then they end up touching the part they don't want to touch with the wrong color. But you can just take your time. And then, like I said, you're going to re-moisten it by breathing onto it. And then that solves that feeling like you have to go really fast. Oh my gosh, the fly is back. Me and this fly, I'm telling you. So the citronella worked for a little bit, but maybe it's decided it likes it too. All right, so I've colored in my, let me bring it closer so you can see. And then I'm just gonna breathe on it. See how it re-moistens it? And then we are just gonna take that and stamp it, and voila! How fun is that? So you can make these candy canes any colors you want. And again, this is for the Stampin' Right markers. Do not use your alcohol markers, your Stampin' Blends on this, because the alcohol will start messing up your stamp. All right, so then I'm going to bring in my die cut machine, and we're going to cut this out. And again, this set also has 2, the die set, you'll see, has 2 different of the candy canes, and you got to pick the one that's the right direction. So let me just kind of get this set up. Then we're going to cut this out for that. So didn't that come out cute? I hope you guys thought that was cute. I think it's cute that you can color and make your candy canes whatever dang color you want them to be. So lots of fun. Yeah, I was going to try to do all 4 cards for you tonight, but the card that I'm going to show you in the end took a little bit of time. So I think that's a card that I'll either have to do it in a class or its own video, because it just takes a little bit of time to get that one done. So Susie, you think it's my animal magnetism that's attracting a fly? Well, whatever I'm putting off, I wish I would quit because I'm not enjoying the fly. Okay, so then I'm going to come in and I am going to stick my candy cane at an angle like so. Again, we'll just use some liquid glue because that's the first thing I grabbed. And it's going to stick right here. And then I had to do it, guys. I had to bring in a gnome. And I colored him ahead of time. So this is my little Christmas elf gnome. I wanted him to look like a Christmas elf. And we're gonna just stick him right here and with that candy cane behind him. And then there's this little stamp set that is part of, so let me tell you so you know which one I'm using. This will make it easier for you guys. So I meant to do that at the beginning. So the Sweet Candy Cane stamp set is the cling stamps. So that's the ones that are the red rubber. And then anytime you see me using the clear stamps, that's the Christmas banner set. That way you guys will know. Yeah, so now we're going to just ink this up and see if I can, oop, I think I got that kisses a little bit dark. Let me stamp off. Yep, I did. Okay. We all tend to put pressure, you know, just based on how we do it. We put pressure either more to the right, to the left. It's just the way all of us stamp. So then this says Candy Cane Wishes and Mistletoe Kisses right there. I thought that would be a cute one. And again, all of the stamps that I'm using is from the Sweetest Christmas Suite. So it's either going to be the Sweet Candy Canes bundle or the Christmas Banners bundle. Then I'm going to bring in some of that ribbon and we're going to tie ourselves a bow. I keep hoping that if I show you guys enough how to use this bow maker, that all of you will know how to use it. Okay, so I always start with the biggest part down. I'm making a small bow, so I'm working with these two legs. So I'm just going to wrap it around those two legs, go up through the center, bring it down through the bottom, pull it up, and then pull this over and tie my knot. And there we go. And then we just pull that off and we have the perfect little bow. And then I'm going to bring in a glue dot. And we're just going to stick that little bow. Oops, I almost did not get that turned around. Kind of pay attention to the legs on your bow. I had that one and I almost turned it backwards so it wouldn't look very good. And then I'm just going to trim my bow. I don't always leave like a really long, some people like long legs on their bows and I'm not one of them, so I always trim mine kind of short. And then we are going to come in with our embellishments. And these are called adhesive back sequences. And these are the ones that come with the suite. And so they come in gold, white, green, and it's not really a real red because they're kind of pearlized. So they do have a little different look to them. Just because, you know, anytime they put like a pearl finish on something, it kind of dilutes the color a little bit. All right, so then there's that. And then if you want to make it fancier, you could take some of the green sequence and put it across the top there. I'm not going to do that right now, but I'll show you the card that I did that on. And the reason I did that was because I didn't like my circle up here. So let me finish the inside of this card. And so I need, where's the other, oh, there it is. It's like I had it sitting right here. So we're going to color this again really quick. And I think I did it opposite this time. So I started with the green, but no, I think I'll just keep it the same. All right, so, and you don't I don't have to color the whole thing this time because I'm just going to bring in this candy cane at the bottom of this page, so it's not imperative that I have the whole thing colored. I just kind of need these top sections colored, but this will just kind of show you again how to do that. So I think sometimes we forget that we can color our stamps, you know, and that just, especially when you have like maybe a flower stamp and you don't want all the flowers to be the same color. You can just color it in And then, like I said, breathe on it, re-moisten it, and then just bring it in and stamp it. So there you go. So that put it at that bottom corner. Let me just clean this off. And then we're going to come in with one of our other sentiments that says, wishing you lots of love. Here we go. And I have this on too big of a block because I have tons of blocks, but some of them were already put up and I just didn't feel like getting them all out. So I'm just working with what I have on my desk. The red sequins, yeah, because this does have sweet sorbet in it, so they probably are more sweet sorbet, but they still look pretty cute with the real red. Oh no! Okay, I'm glad that happened because then I can show you how to fix that. So I didn't get all of the joy in, so I'm just going to bring in my black Stampin' Right marker. Ta-da! All fixed. So I don't know if you guys saw that from far away, but I didn't get the J and the part of the O, so I just came in with my marker, Stampin' Right marker, and I wrote over the top of it. All right. So then this is going to go on the inside of this card, and then like I said, I will show you the one where I put more sequins. So for those of you, if you're joining me late or you're watching this on YouTube and you keep seeing my hands like I'm fighting myself, again, I am battling a little fly right now that is driving me absolutely insane. This fly better run when I'm done with this video. Okay, so what do you think? So that's another fun card, just using the Designer Series paper, bringing in a border, of course, bringing in the gnomes, and then coloring in your stamp set. So let me show you, this is what it looks like if you put the sequins along that edge. So there's with the sequins on the edging, and there's without the sequins. So two different ways. All right. Okay, next card. We're doing one more card, and then the last card I'm just going to show you. And the reason I'm doing this card is because I wanted to show you this really cool die that is in this set. So we are going to be working with this really fun die right here. And this is part of the candy cane dies. It goes with, I mean, it's all part of the same suite, but it's specific to the candy cane. So it's this bundle. The Sweet Candy Cane bundle. All right. All right, let's bring in all my parts and pieces for this one. Okay, so I start off and I cut a pretty large piece of this, and this is the white shimmer glimmer paper that again is part of that suite. So we're just gonna bring this in and we're gonna cut this. Now, I am gonna tell you this, I haven't done it yet, but you'll see what I'm talking about. I have this little bucket that I am keeping all of the parts that this cuts out because I think I'm going to be able to create a really fun card with what this cuts out. Now, I do want to get this centered because this whole piece is going to be used. So I hope I'm getting it centered because I'm at kind of a weird angle right now. So I'm going to try to hold my corners down and then stick this in place, and hopefully that will not move. All right, and then we're just going to run this through. So we are on card 3 with this suite of products. All right, so I'm going to be careful picking this up because I don't want to lose any of these pieces. Susie, you're going to be so proud of me that I'm saving these. So I'm getting that die out of the way. And then when I pick this up, you'll see all these little tiny strips. And I am actually keeping these because my idea is that I can cut this out of regular paper and then come in and, I know this sounds tedious, but then come back in and re-glue all these glimmer paper, because it's glimmer paper. And I can re-glue these pieces, and I may not want to re-glue all of them, but I can re-glue them. And let's say if I cut this out of real red, and then I could bring in this white glimmer, and I think it's going to look like pretty cool. Haven't done it yet, so we will see. And like I said, I may not even want to put all of the pieces back, but some of them. So you'll see, here's my little bucket of collected pieces. So I should be getting kudos from Susie, right? Because I didn't throw it away. Alrighty. So then what I did was I cut this piece of paper, and it's not going to fit exactly because I want to, like, I'm going to fit this so that the colors that I want to see are going to show through. Do you see what I'm talking about? So you'll see how it's like coming off the top. But I want to make sure I see the red and the green and the pool party. So I'm just going to flip this over, and I'm going to just real quick, and I'm just putting liquid glue where the big stripes are. So I'm going down the side, and then I'm just kind of going down these sections that have quite a bit of space. And the reason I'm picking just those is because I am putting a full line of glue, and I don't want it to all squeeze out from underneath. All right, so now I need to bring in my silicone mat again. And then I need to kind of pick this paper up. And, oh, did I turn it around? No, okay, I think we're good. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is get this lined up so that all three of the colors show through. And I'll get this closer in a second. And I'm not worried about the fact that I'm not catching all of it at the bottom. But see what I mean? So it fit like where I cut out the pieces. Can you guys see that? All right. And so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come along with my snips. And I am just going to, and this is the only edge that I'm going to have to cut off, is this top edge right there. Okay, but I think it's kind of cool that they designed our striped paper to actually fit inside. I mean, that wasn't an accident, folks. They designed it that way, right? So way cool. All right, so now I'm going to bring in some real red. And then we are just, this is going to fit exactly. So this is going to go on the top of that. And like I said, you know, anytime that Stampin' Up! Has designer series paper and it has dies, you got to kind of play with your dies a little bit to see how it all fits together. And I was kind of playing with those dies, and I'm like, you know what? That fits exactly with those diagonal stripes. And like I said, you know, to me it was a surprise, but it's not a surprise. Stampin' Up! Actually plans it that way because they like to do that kind of fun stuff with their dies so that it matches up with the paper and you just get so much more use out of everything. Okay, so that's just going to fit down like so. All right. And then we are going to bring in, where's my, oh, here we go. So again, these are, now you saw me stamp, right? So you can stamp these, but because I had cut a bunch of these out, I wanted to go ahead and use them up. So this was from the designer series paper. And so I'm just going to put a little glue like so. And then we are just going to flip this over, and I'm going to try to get these as straight and even as I can. And we're going to glue those two together. And then I am going to bring in, I have a really small strip of the that garden green ribbon. And so I'm going to turn this over, and I am just going to run a long strip of my Stampin' Seal, and we're going to come in with that ribbon, and we're just going to fold it. So that's going to fold that way, and I might have to put a glue dot if this doesn't catch right. It should catch just fine. All right, so then I'm wrapping that ribbon around the two candy canes. Then I'm going to turn this over, and we are going to pop this up. So I'm going to be adding quite a few dimensionals here. So I'm going to go right up to, but not on the ribbon. Because again, you know, the ribbon gives it some dimension, and you don't want to, well, those two came off together, so those two can go on together. So if I were to put a dimensional there, because it's already kind of raised a little bit, it would kind of make this not sit as nice as I would like it to sit. But I am going right up to it. I know you guys are seeing me use more dimensionals than I normally use, which is crazy. So that one, I'll just kind of center that one. All right, so let's just pull all of these off. I hope you guys are liking these cards. Like I said, you know, a lot of this is just like, when you get these sets, just start playing with them. I mean, who knew that these diagonals, this diagonal paper would match the die, right? I mean, but it does. And it's not just that paper. All of the diagonal papers match that die. I mean, it doesn't show as much color through as that particular one, but it will still match them up. But that's why we're supposed to play with our stuff when we get it, right? Oh my gosh. Couldn't figure out what was on my arm. Okay, so now I'm going to take this, and we're going to try to center that. Again, another reason that I don't worry about gluing down all these little tiny stripes, because I'm putting stuff on top of it, and it's going to cover it. Okay, so then I again cut out these little leaves in red. And then I cut out in white this time. I'm going to stick them over here so you guys can see it. I know the white you can't see. And then I actually cut out a banner in that. But let me get these little berries over here, because I'm going to need these again. I believe there's 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take these little strips first. And again, I don't glue my stuff all the way down, because I like it to have some movement and dimension. I know some people aren't comfortable with that, and they would put glue all the way up, but I'm not going to do that. And then I'm just going to kind of stick that to where it's coming off right there. And then we're going to do the same thing here. Ooh, almost knocked that off my table. And that one's going to go like so. And then this one, I'm just going to stick some glue here and kind of on the edge. And this one is actually going to kind of slip underneath that ribbon so that it sticks up there. And then I'm going to pull in some mini dimensional, and I'm going to stick it underneath this little white piece right here. and then pull the top off of it. Go ahead and set that little tip down right there. And then I'm going to pick up one of these and set it over the top. So that way it kept this popped up. Do you see what I did there? So it keeps that popped up. And then I'm gonna come in with my mini glue dots again, and we're just going to like put it on that paper and then pull it off and then stick these on. Almost there, guys. These cards were so much fun to create. I'm just, yeah. Well, I'll be honest with you, wasn't sure if I was going to be totally in love with this suite because it's very traditional colors. Not that I don't like red and green for Christmas, but I think we've gotten spoiled because we've had so many designs that take us away from red and green. You know, and we've seen so many candy canes. But I'm loving this suite of products. All right. So then what I did, if I can find it, yes, I did do it ahead of time. So I stamped that 'Tis the Season, and then I fussy cut around it. And I'm just going to add this to the middle of that banner. I bet you guys were wondering how I was going to stamp on that banner. The answer is I'm not. So we're just going to take this and we're just going to center this onto that because, you know, we need the glitter, right? All right, and then we're coming back in with, I'm using a lot of dimensionals tonight, huh? And we are going to just pop, maybe. Oh my gosh, come on. Wow, that thing was refusing to come off. All of these are. All right, so we're just going to add a couple of these. Almost got the fly. Oh, there it is. Oh my gosh. This is like comedy hour, right? Oh, get away. All right, you guys are probably sitting there laughing at me over this stupid fly, right? It's just making me cray-cray. All right. So let me move this out of the way, and then I'm just going to bring this in, and this is going to go up here at the top. And let me just see if we can get it as centered as I can. Okay, and then for the inside's going to be pretty simple. I'm just going to bring in, this was just an extra piece of striped paper that I had. From when I did that second card. Look at me using pieces, Susie. I'm learning to use my scraps. I mean, I mean, there are times where I sit down and I only use scraps when I'm designing cards. But I think because I feel like I need to kind of show you guys everything that some of these sets do, I don't always take the time to do that with my stuff. I'm always using the new stuff and full pieces of stuff. Okay, and then am I going to use the wishing you, yeah, let's just use this same one. Wishing you lots of love, and we want garden green this time. Susie said, I please her when I use my scraps. And Mel, you've had a mosquito in the house that's been oh gosh, I think that's worse, man. Yeah, I don't like mosquitoes either. And that hurts too when they bite you and you wake up and you've got all the mosquito and then you're itching all day. So yeah. Okay, so then we just put that right there. Wishing you lots of love and joy this Christmas season and always. I think it's just the time of season, right? We just have to deal with bugs. It's kind of hard though because, you know, here I am doing all these Christmas, and so I'm thinking winter time. but then we're dealing with bugs. So it is what it is. All right. So then we're just going to pop this on the inside. Oh, and I did see one thing I forgot to do, but I'll do it real quick in just a hot second. You guys can probably see what it is I need to fix. And then because, remember, I wasn't lining that up perfectly on the front, we are going to trim this top edge. Because when you try to line up those stripes, it doesn't always, like, you know, line up exactly with what you've cut out. Yeah. Okay, so what do you guys think? 'Tis the season. And it's all sparkly. I don't know if you, I hope you guys can see all the sparkle. And you could add Wink of Stella to this as well. I didn't, but you could. And then there's the inside. Okay, so I'm gonna just bring back in the cards we did tonight, and then I'm gonna bring you in the one that I did completely, like, with no colors. Like from, well, they're still kind of Christmas colors, but you guys know me. I love the regals and the neutrals, and so I had to do a card with this set with that. And so here it is. So this is, I created this background with all of the stamps from these two sets. And then this is actually, I had it sitting here, but I think I've covered it. So let me show you what this is. This is a die that is in this set right here. It's this die right here. And it cuts this out. Now this is supposed to be for, and oh, I don't have a pencil. Maybe this will work just to kind of show you. This is supposed to be a tag for a candy cane. Look at that. So you could put a little thing and put this tag on a candy cane and give it to somebody. But I took it and I made it where I'm adding, and this I glued in place. But yeah, these are, so I did this with completely different colors. And then there's the inside. So I hope you guys like this one. But like I said, this one takes a little bit more time just because of the stamping and stuff. But I just thought it would be fun to, you know, I've got all the sparkle, the shine. I did the designer series paper, and then I wanted to do one with colors that, and not that I don't love these colors, I do, but this is more me. And so, yeah, I'm in love with this card. I love it. So I hope you guys like it too. Alrighty. So there we go. Like I said, this was a huge suite. And I could sit and design for forever with this set. Because there's just, when you get both of those stamp sets and all those dies and all of the specialty paper and the designer series paper, it's so much. And yeah. So this is the suite if you want everything. And then it has, this is one of the bundles, the Sweet Candy Canes bundle, and then the Christmas Banners bundle. But it all comes from that first suite. Oops, I keep trying to move stuff. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Hey, not bad. It was only an hour. I thought it was going to take me a lot longer. I did pre-prep stuff. So again, just know all of these cards will be on my blog. You can go to that and get step-by-step instructions with like the actual cuts and everything. So again, as usual, I appreciate your time here. And if you are watching the replay on YouTube and you have any questions or any comments, don't hesitate to put those in because I do see them and I do respond to them. Again, make sure you follow, subscribe, ring the bells, thumbs up, all of that good stuff. Of course, if you like it. Anyway, I appreciate your time. I know time is precious, and I hope you guys have a good evening, and I hope you can't wait to see what I decide to do next week. Anyway, talk to you soon. Bye.